Good morning. As you guys seen, I had a carpool with my brother to work this morning, and if you were wondering why, it's because all of my coolant leaked from my car yesterday. When I was about to get my nails done, I parked in the parking lot, and that's when I got off my car and I heard a bunch of water dripping, and I stepped out of my car and I seen that there was a blue-green liquid near my feet, and I was like, my coolant just leaked. And this was on Monday, yesterday, the first day of the week. And on Friday, April 25th, I actually had a maintenance appointment for my car because I had reached 50,000 miles. So I was doing all the service for it: spark plugs, trans fluid, diff fluid, brake flush fluid, coolant fluid. So that Friday, I had to take that day off. I asked them how long is it going to take because I needed to know my schedule, so I know if to take Saturday off or what the deal is, if I need a ride over there, all of that stuff. They told me the car would be done at 6 that same day, so I just took Friday off. The shop was kind of far away from me, so we kind of did like a day trip over there, and we went off-roading in that city over there. Before I was supposed to pick up the car at 6, I got a message saying like, oh hey, if you leave it for another day, I'll knock off $200, which I was completely fine with. I was like, okay, maybe they just didn't finish on time, whatever. They said to pick it up the next day, which was Saturday, and Saturday I had work, but it ended up getting canceled because it rained last Saturday, so I got super lucky. But either way, I had already gotten a car to borrow, so that was just perfect that I didn't end up working that day. So that day I was just waiting all day for that message to be like, oh hey, your car is ready, and I never got a message. So I actually ended up messaging them at 6 saying like, oh hey, any updates on my car, blah blah blah, and they never responded back. So I was like, I'm gonna show up to the shop. So I showed up to the shop, I knocked on the door, and someone answered, and they said, hey, like, we're not ready yet, can you leave the car for another day and we'll knock off $450? And I said okay. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't work the next day, so I didn't need my car, so I was okay with it. But I did find it a little weird that they just still weren't done, but whatever, I didn't question it. And I was getting a $450 discount, so I was like, okay, that's fine. And then finally on Sunday, I got a message saying, hey, your car's gonna be ready at 6. So I was like, yes, perfect, I'm gonna get my car back today. And I went to the shop at 6, went to go pick it up. They gave me a $650 discount, which I was like, wow, you know, that's nice of them to do that. It seemed a little weird because like, what shop would give such a big discount? But I didn't question it. I was just like, okay, that's nice of them. Maybe that's just them trying to be nice because they took 2 extra days to complete my car. I drove my car back, everything was fine. Monday I drove my car to work, drove back home, everything was fine. But it wasn't until I was driving to my nail appointment after work, 5 minutes away from my house, I literally had parked in the parking lot, and that's when I tell you guys all the coolant had leaked. So that's when I texted the mechanic saying like, hey, all of my coolant just leaked, just to let him know because he did do the coolant flush. And that's when I get a response back saying like, oh hey, I actually forgot to do your coolant flush, so the coolant that fell, like, I have nothing to do with that. But I was like, what the heck, like, what? That doesn't even make sense. You didn't do the coolant flush, like, why didn't you tell me that? Like, that's so messed up. Because I specifically went to this shop because I wanted quality work. They did say I could tow the car to the shop so they could check it, whatever. I called my brother and he helped me. He was gonna drive it back home. The coolant temps were super high, obviously. We let the car cool down to a normal temperature, and that's what we were gonna do, make sure the temps weren't overheating, but they were overheating. So we had to stop 3 times on that 5-minute drive back home. He made sure not to let it reach like the high point. Stop before that, let it cool down, and then drive again, and then stop again so it would cool down. So that's what we were doing, and then we finally made it home, and then we checked the car, and that's when we seen that the coolant return line was broken. This could have just happened because of wear and tear, so I'm not blaming nobody, I'm not blaming the mechanic, but that was the part that was broken. So what we did was we called around to see who had the part. It was already too late to go pick it up from BMW, but BMW did have the part in stock. So later today after work, I'm gonna go pick up that part from BMW and pick up some more extra coolant, and we're gonna get this fixed. Hopefully it really just is that hose. That's the only thing we saw broken, and we did add more coolant to see where the leak was coming from, and it was leaking from that part only. So hopefully that's all it is. And I'll bring you guys along with me just because it's part of the journey. I'm actually already loaded and I have to go to my job, so come with me. I would also like to mention that I'm not bringing up none of this to bash anybody, bash any shop or whatever. Like, that's the least of my worries. I'm just happy that the truth unfolded. I'm happy that all of my coolant leaked, because if it wouldn't have, maybe I would have never known or found out that they didn't do my coolant flush. And this just teaches me a lesson to next time be more aware. Maybe next time it means that I have to be there and watch the mechanic do the work. Or maybe I have to do my own mechanical work from now on. But I'm not mad, guys. I just wanted to inform you guys too. pumper's washing out. They need a cleanup here. So I'm pretty sure that the pumper's gonna leave already because the cleanup is only for this little part that goes along the street. So I don't really think you need a pump for that. You could easily shoe pour that. So I think the cleanup is gonna have to shoe pour that. I'm not sure if I'm going or someone else. Okay, I'm at the plant now. I got confirmation that I'm taking the short load. So I made sure, you have to make sure, don't forget, but when you're taking a cleanup and the pumper washed out, always remember, don't forget to wash out that pump wash. It's happened to my brother and I think once to me too, where we completely forgot to rinse out the pump wash and we load on top. And imagine if I'm loading a 1 yard cleanup and I load it on top of that pump wash, it's gonna be soup. Like seriously, it's gonna be soup. In my head, I'm thinking like cleanup. And when you think cleanup, they normally haven't washed the pump yet because the pumper's still gonna be there. But in this case, the pumper was already leaving, so he washed out. So yeah, just remember to dump your pump wash. I dumped my pump wash, and I'm gonna go load up that 1.5 yard cleanup. I have my 1.5 yard loaded, but look at everything that got stuck on the pillars. I'm gonna wash that out right now. As you can see, it's super duper dry, so I'm gonna add water too. It was literally 10-minute shoe pour, or probably less. I was in and out of there really quick. We're going to the plant now, and I think I have slurry. There she is. Okay, I made it. Let me just get the truck locked. And I also had to park on the red because there's no parking. It's so crazy, but there's literally no parking. But let's do our little trick where we take our key out. I'm actually gonna put my hazards on too. That nice gentleman helped me bring all this stuff, but this is that part that I need because it broke off from one of these ends. I think it's this one, so I should be very careful because I don't know how fragile they are. But I also got more coolant with the green cap. But okay, let's get the heck out of here. What are the odds, guys? I'm off, and at the same time, my brother is also off. I didn't have to wait for him. I thought he was gonna wait for me or I was gonna wait for him. We're off at the same time. I have my part, I have my coolant. Okay, look. So this is that exact piece that I need and it's perfect. This is the piece that broke. This little piece broke off of this one. This is that new one that I got. So that's gonna be replaced. My brother's gonna do that for me. And I'm gonna dilute the coolant because that's what you're supposed to do. So these are my 2 coolant bottles. This is an empty bottle, so what I'm gonna do is put half of this in there, and once it's at half of that, I'll put the other half of water. One full bottle is 9 inches, so that only means that half of it is 4.5. Okay, let's measure that. Ooh, we're at 4. That's good. That's 4.5. Now I have some water. It's a half and half ratio. It's half coolant and then the other half is water. So it has to reach where the 9 is with water. Yeah, we're still missing some water. It's at 7 inches. Let's go get more water. Perfect, it's 9. So that one's set, and then I'll just fill this one with water too. And then my brother already installed that new line. That's that new one.
You just broke off.
Okay, now that the coolant's in, my brother's gonna do something where it lets all the coolant go into the whole system and then release any air bubbles. Hey you guys, I'm really hoping that this isn't the intro to a new video, but as you guys seen, my phone broke. I dropped it off at the repair store. I'm just waiting here. They said it would take 30 minutes. I broke my phone today at work in the morning. I just got off of work at 4. I still kept working, and guys, I need my phone to work. I have to be communicating through my phone the whole day at work, sending how many yards we need, the job, the direction, the maps. Like, I rely on my phone so much at work. Luckily, they said they're able to fix it. I was already accepting the fact that I was just gonna need to get a new phone, which I was honestly okay with because I was already considering getting a new phone. The only thing that bummed me out was that I had already filmed for you guys this week because it's Thursday. I had filmed for you guys in the beginning of the week and was already editing the video, and this week has already been crazy enough. But they actually called me and said my phone is ready, so that's good. That means they were able to repair it. Now I just have to pay $140, which is crazy for a phone screen. Like, what the heck? I might as well just get a new phone. My footage is still here. That's awesome. She replaced it. That's freaking awesome.
1 hour later.
Okay guys, I got my phone fixed, but I don't like the quality of the screen they put on. It seems like so bad quality, like super bad quality. My phone was never this bad quality. So I ended up going to the mall and I got a new upgrade on my phone. I got the, what is it, the new one? I don't even know what number it is anymore, but it's the newest one. My mom told me to wait because in September they come out with a newer one. But honestly, I can't look at this screen. Like, it just looks like a different color. I don't know. I don't like it. It messes with my brain. I'm going to set it up right now, but I'm so happy. I did not think this was going to happen today. I needed to get a new phone already, but I wanted to pay off this one. So out of pocket, I had to pay $150 for this old phone so I could get this new one. And then I also had to pay taxes on this one. So I just spent another $300, which I was not expecting to spend today, but it's okay. But let me show you guys my new phone. It looks like the one I have right now, honestly. I'm gonna try to film this quality, what I'm looking at right now, because honestly, the new screen that they put on my phone just looks super bad quality. Also, I hate that there's a new charger for these phones. It's so annoying. Look at how bad my old phone is. It's so cracked. That's the back of it. This is the replacement screen. It has these little dots right here that don't go away. And then the screen in general just looks so weird. I don't know. It looks like a different color.